This is the movie that Rex Reed called the most horrifying motion picture I have ever seen. This film is positively ruthless in its attempt to drive you right out of your mind. It accomplishes everything it sets out to do with brilliance and unparalleled terror. This is the horror movie to end them all.
Sally, I hear something. Stop! Stop!
This is the movie Rex Reed called the most horrifying motion picture I have ever seen. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. From New Line Cinema.
Hello, great people. I want to thank you guys for all being here this morning, on this fine morning, on the Pacific, what am I saying? Yeah, Pacific time frame. This is 9 a.m. for me, for a lot of you on the West Coast, East Coast. This is your afternoon. So good afternoon to you all, and good morning to the people that's here from the West Coast. And my beautiful UK people, it's probably what? Late night? I'm trying to remember. Everybody, I want to thank you guys for being here. It's noon in Detroit. Yep. It's 5 p.m. in the UK. Morning for me. Good noon time for my friends in Detroit, Michigan, East Coast, and nighttime. Well, 5 p.m. is not really nighttime and all that. So before we get started, I just want to say I do appreciate a lot of you for coming here. You know, making me part of your morning, afternoon, nighttime. I really, truly do appreciate that. And there are times that, you know, you ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth going on with so many things that's going on in life? You know what I mean? Like the frustrations of trying to get the truth out of the government. You know what I mean? Trying to get people not to be believers, to be open-minded to subjects. And even on YouTube, you think sometimes on YouTube, YouTube's fantastic to the point where we can all get together and share information and, you know, talk about the things we love. But there's a lot of politics also in the world of YouTube and all that. And so you guys kind of know, you know, where I got started in YouTube, just a little flashback, and we'll get into the movies for a second. My brother, Dr. Wu, who was on in the yesterday morning when I was doing something, my brother was working backstage with Jessica Jones because he did a 10 a.m. show with Jessica Jones channels, the Cryptid Huntress, and I want to share their screen. And I'll put a link if you guys haven't watched it on the Cryptid Huntress channel. Dr. Wu was with her yesterday morning, and they literally had a kick-ass show. And I'm not just saying that just because that's my brother on there. I have to automatically give him credit just because he's my brother. No, the show was a great show. They talked about everything. And I love it when I don't know where in the show. I don't know where. And I'll just pick any time limit just so you guys hear a little bit of it.
A Bigfoot hunter that I know I go out with, named Bear Grease. His number one joke is about Bigfoot because he's not stupid. He's a real hunter. And he's like me as a man. You look straight at the dude's junk. You look at.
And I want to tell you guys something. beer grease. I grew up with this guy. He's talking about beer grease. He just doesn't want his name out there. Beer grease is one of the most. I know when people hear the word hunter, you think some people think an evil person. No, beer grease is a fantastic person. Fantastic person. In fact, the person he's saying, beer grease, was one of the 11 that was with us when we had our Bigfoot encounter. So there's a lot of respect. So when you guys hear beer grease, I know him since I was a kid, a little kid. And beer grease is a wonderful person. So when you guys hear the word hunter, I know some people out there hear the word hunter. This beer grease is a wonderful guy. And I'm glad he brought him up yesterday.
But this happened. Now I saw the evidence for these hydro systems underground. I'm like, nah, this is made from water. How would you know this? Because I fish. I'm a stream fisherman, and clearly you can see with water carve this. That you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be a fisherman to see this. Wow. So mud floods.
Yeah, you just gotta know how water flows, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen that channel, it was great because he brought up. Listen, at the end of the day, what he brought up that he believes that is true is technically a theory. But that's what everything is in life, are theories, unless we live there, right? Unless we're there, they're all theories. But when you listen to that show, he makes sense on why he believes the theory is true. It's just not coming out with a theory and said, hey, there it is. He brought up some evidence that he saw when he worked at Smithsonian. So it was a fantastic video show yesterday. And if you guys haven't seen it, go with it. And I wish I was actually invited to go on with them too. I was actually invited, but I had my own video that I had to do yesterday. So I didn't have the opportunity to really concentrate and go on with them. So Bob and Jessica Jones had a great show last night. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should check it out. But and I'm not going to even go back and talk about the video I did yesterday because I want to show you guys something strange. I have a Twitter account, like everybody. Twitter account, TikTok account, Reddit. You guys know my Reddit is actually still called Gypsy Road, which I love that name. And I wish I could go back from Paranormal Highway back to Gypsy Road, but I know that if I do, eventually this channel will get shut down because the word gypsy is not it's not a good word no more, I guess. But I put my videos on these channels for me. I say, hey, I just did a show over here. So yesterday I did a whistleblower. I put it on my Twitter, and guys, guess what happened? Guess what happened? I posted my video from yesterday on Twitter to say, hey, I do it every day. Anytime I do a show, I put it on Twitter to let people know. Well, as of yesterday, your account is suspended. It's suspended. Did I do anything wrong? Did it cuss at nobody? No bad language. I don't put nudity pictures up or anything. I just put up a link to my video about whistleblower. And are you not allowed? I mean, I get it. You got to have ground rules. I know, even on YouTube, there's got to be ground rules. I get that. There's got to be some safety because there are kids and stuff that can, get affected a little bit. So I understand that. So if you're going to suspend me, make sure that it's for something good, like a real suspension. Like, I don't know, I put a nudity picture of me in a shower or something. I get that. But it's like, anytime you talk about whistleblowers or anything like that, I don't know what it does. It's like, does Elon, is it like Elon Musk is the only person that can put so-called whistleblowers? And there's other channels on social media, on YouTube, that takes offense if you have a conversation, because it seems like only on their channels that they can have real whistleblowers. Only their channel. Anybody else? No, you can't. You can't. So, so it's like, and anybody who knows me, listen, I'm a nice guy. I'm truly a nice guy, and I don't try to offend anybody. But unfortunately, people do get offended for whatever reasons, and it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know, Bob started YouTube back in 2016. So I started doing YouTube in 2017 when I got hurt and I had I was home. So I was doing nothing. Not doing nothing, but you know what I mean? I was home. I couldn't go to work. And Dr. Wu's at my house. And so I started a channel called Mr. True Thoughts, just a little fast history. And channel got shut down, opened up again, got shut down. It's because in those days we were talking about Mandela effects. I don't know if that's what it was, but somehow my channel got shut down. Not Dr. Wu's. I don't know how he's able to be able to have his original channel. His original channel never got shut down. It's amazing that my channel got shut down. Mr. True Thoughts got shut down. Talking about Mandela effects, interviewing Bob about the Mandela effect, and Bob will tell you, I interview him about the Mandela effect, and the very next day, the channel got shut down. So I opened up another Mr. True Thoughts, and I moved the dash point over so I could reuse the name. I swear to you guys, did another show with my brother on Mandela effects. Got shut down. He got shut down. So one day, so the way Gypsy Road got started, Gypsy Road was my other channel that I went to people's channels with. Everybody knew me by Gypsy Road. It wasn't a channel I was really doing anything with. And if Bob remembers, I fill out the form to run for president. True story. I fill out the proper paperwork to run for president. So technically, I ran for president when I think it was Hillary Clinton against Trump. And Bob said, hey, we should just do a show about it. I go, well, I can't do it on Mr. True Thoughts. I got my Gypsy Road channel. And boom, we did a live show on it. And that's where it just took off. And then I was using Gypsy Road forever. I just the name was the name. I got the name not because of technically gypsies traveling. One of my favorite bands growing up was Cinderella, and they had a song called Gypsy Road. And the song, I connected with the song, drive all night until you see the light. So it meant like you're going to drive all night until you see that light. You're not going to go home. You're going to continue going forward. And that was the idea. And then later on, you guys know me, then I was getting hatred saying, that's a bad word. What are you doing? And then what happened was everybody, what happened was they complain in YouTube. You know what it is. When people don't like somebody else, they can't just shut the fuck up and go away. They have to go overboard. They have to complain about the person. You know what I mean? They go overboard. So one day I get a message from YouTube say, hey, we're going to ask you to request to move the channel. We're not going to move it at this time, but if we get more complaints, the channel will have to shut it down under some, I forget what the rule, because Gypsy is considered a bad name now. So I had to change the name or I would have lost the channel. So Danny Stanton, and I was asking the people in the chat, what should I name the channel? And Danny Stanton is the one that actually came up and said, hey, just call yourself Paranormal Highways. Basically like steroids on the word road. Instead of the road, now you're going on the highway. So Danny Stanton is actually responsible for coming up with that name. And I said, yeah, I'll use the name Paranormal Highway. Listen, I miss Gypsy Road. I'm still Gypsy Road. But I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to lose another channel, a channel that we built up, you know what I mean, for so many years, and I didn't want to lose it. So, and unfortunately, my Reddit page, it's still called Gypsy Road, so I'm still able to use it on some other ones, but on this channel, I just, and to me, listen, we all have our names. I love Gypsy Road, but I also like talking to you guys. I love talking to the people in the chat. Right now, I'm looking at Mike Johnson. Love the guy. Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Such one of the most honest Bigfoot investigator, paranormal investigator you're ever going to meet. Just a first-class guy. And if you haven't got his book, True Cryptid book, and I think Danny can put the link in the chat for me if you don't mind. It's a fantastic book. You guys should check it out. He takes people's stories that he believes that there's some truth to it, and he gives it to the world. And that's fantastic, and I want to, Jeanette, Jojo, Dogman, UK Man, Cosmic Neighbors, Raymond, all you guys are fantastic. Life with Bobby. And then of course, hey, and listen, nobody's perfect in this world. Neil Warden, my brother and I get in fights too. We're brothers, our family. It's what happens, right? We get in fights. There's times that we didn't speak for each other for a long time. But you know what? We both put our big pants on and said, you know what? We're fighting over stupid shit. It happens. Your family. When you're family, you fight. It's just, I hate to say it, you fight. So, and all that. And so I want to thank you guys for being here. You guys are all fantastic. And I didn't mean to go on like this, but just seeing my Twitter account get suspended just because I put a video from yesterday, and it's like Bob saying, the black helicopters are coming. They're trying to shut it down. And the most weirdest thing is, I thought, maybe I'm wrong, people in the chat. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm stupid. I thought, but Elon Musk owning Twitter, right? I thought it's meant to be more open, to be able to put and say things you want to say. I thought with him being an owner, I would never get suspended, but it is. I mean, look right there. Your account is suspended. Wow. Hey, look on the right-hand side. I didn't even notice it before. I'm serious. Who to follow? Bigfoot Anon. Bigfoot Anon. I did not see that. Bigfoot Anon. Who to follow? I love that. So it is what it is. They said you can submit appeal. I'm just shocked that. All right. And right before I start reading to the movies, I got to ask you guys something. I don't know if Bigfoot Michigan Rob is still here at the moment. I asked Danny his opinion on this video that just surfaced. So Bigfoot Michigan Rob, I know you're doing the show at 10, so I know you're busy. But if you are still here, I'm curious, what do you guys think of this new Bigfoot footage of the Silverton Bigfoot? If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the video that's right now it's gone viral, I guess you could say.
Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. A guy named Brandon sent us the following video while we were on a Bigfoot expedition in Colorado.
Hold on a second. Is there a bigger one?
Alright, just squat it down.
Hold on. I think.
Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it.
Hold on. Right there.
Elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down.
What do you guys think of that? I'm curious. I would love to know your guys' opinion. And this footage is going viral.
Creature.
And one of the things, and like I said, this is I'm not telling you guys this is real or fake. This is up to you. This is up to you. I lean more on, and this is just my opinion. Don't say, Eric, here's Eric saying another thing's fake. I don't think it's real. My thing is, I understand that animals starts to look and adapt to the environment that they're in. But this suit is way too close to the coloring of its surroundings. It's like it's a perfect camouflage look. And I get it. There's animals that can camouflage grass, green, trees, and wood, but it's too perfect of a color. So I don't. Monster Radio, a person that I trust his opinion. I trust his opinion very much. He said this is definitely a costume. It's wearing sunglasses. All right. A man in a suit. All right. Ha, dude in a suit. Laugh out loud. And again, this is up to you on what you feel about it. And don't ever feel ashamed of if you think Bigfoot Michigan Rob, I was just curious, what do you think of this new viral video? I think it's a man in a suit.
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down.
Raymond, you know what? Since I'm popping this video up through StreamYard, I cannot zoom in on it. Since I'm popping the video to StreamYard like this, if it was maybe I would have to do like a snapshot of it and send it to myself in an email on a picture to be able to expand that. So unfortunately, I can't expand that. But you type this in, they call it the Silverton Bigfoot. It's all over. But unfortunately, I can't. I'm sorry. These videos won't allow you to make it bigger. This guy made it at 350%. That's the biggest I can give it to you. I mean, I can do this, but that doesn't do nothing.
Creature. Alright, just squat it down.
Me and Barry Luthen going to talk briefly about it at 1. Personally, I'm uncertain, learning to fake, and I do have an open mind on this stuff. Who knows? And I agree with that. I mean, even if you and I, Michigan Rob, Monster Radio, we all decide that we're on more of the fake side, unless we're there touching the person or the person admits that they're faking it, I guess in a way, you kind of never know. Pause it, screen and shoot it. Yeah, I could do that. I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on that, but you're right. I can shoot it like snapshot and make it bigger, but I just wanted to, people's opinions. I asked Danny Stanton this morning. I texted him like, "What is his opinion?" You know, hey, listen. Still, hey, listen. If that's the video that gets a young kid to say, "What's Bigfoot?" You won. Truly, you guys, you won. Just to say that's Bigfoot, you won. Because that kid might grow up to study. Hey, sometimes fake videos is the thing that gets people into something, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's pathetic. You lost your channel because calling it Gypsy Road. It's on an absolute joke. It's true, James. I you know, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's not just a name for me, but the name on the channel. So a lot of times, if you see people call me Gypsy, that's why they still know me. I didn't want to lose the channel because if I lost the channel, it'll be hard for a lot of you to refine somebody, right? Then it becomes word of mouth, and it just wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, it's about the person being bigger than the name. But I still love that fucking name. I still love it. It is. All right, guys. Movies that are supposedly based on a true story. Now, this is based on an article that I pull up. Just so you guys know, I did not choose these 10 movies or whatever movies are on this list to be horror movies. They said it's from a true story. Now, some of these movies on this list, I was like, really? That movie's on this list? Because I was like, everybody knows that's based on a true story. How is that on this list? You know what I mean? So there's some movies on here you're going to see like, that shouldn't be on that list. I would think everybody knows. But these are 10 horror movies you didn't know that were inspired by a true story. Like I said, and after we go off this list, people in the chat, I'll let you guys tell me what movies should be on the list too, what's not. We all know these lists are made by people for whatever reason. They choose them, not me. This is kind of just talking points. That's all it is, right? It's just talking points, right? All right. Let's share the screen here. Let's go. 10 horror movies you didn't know were inspired by a true story. And I'm doing this, guys, because it's the month of Halloween. I love Halloween. So this is just getting into the Halloween spirit. All right. Final Destination, number 10. Let's see here. See, these I can make bigger. Each Final Destination installment follows the similar premises of a group of people who follow a premonition manage to escape death in a random disaster, only for death to come find them in a gruesome and elaborate ways. So what it means is, you think you escape death? Death is coming. Death is coming. While the plot device leads to some absurd deaths, franchise creator Jeff Reddick explains that the idea for the original film was based on a real news story. Reddick recalls reading about a woman who nearly avoided a plane crash after a loved one called and encouraged her to switch flights. The concept of the premonition of a plane crash would end up being the basis for Final Destination. So basically, somebody had the gift and saw the future. Seriously, think about that woman. I'm serious. If you seriously think about it, if you're that woman who got a phone call to say, do not go on that plane, and that plane really went down. Oh my God. You know what I mean? You just don't think, I don't think, did they say it was the husband who told her? Where was I? Hold on. Nearly avoided after a loved one. So I don't know if it's a husband or not. My God. Knowing that this person got it right. Think about if that, I hate to say this, if that plane didn't crash and then you'd probably be pissed off at your loved one, like, you motherfucker. I had to wait 3 extra hours at this airport because you thought, right? So is it weird? So I don't know. But that's it's it's annoying that people have to fake things or call fake stuff the real thing. I know, right? We live in that world. We live in that world. All right, Open Water, 2003 movie. Open Water, one of the simplest and most haunting horror concepts that was inspired by a real case. The film Open Water was a couple who find themselves stranded in the middle of the ocean after their scuba boat leaves without them. It's based on a real story of a married couple, Tom and Aline Lonergan, I don't know, who went missing at sea after being stranded for 48 hours. While it's impossible to know exactly what happened to the launchers in that time, the visit claustrophobic Open Water dramatized the story of a fictional couple who struggle against sharks, dehydration, and the myriad horrors of the open sea. I tell you what, that would suck because you can't drink ocean water, right? You can't drink that water. So, unfortunately, people do get stranded out in the ocean. That's, you can base that off many stories. All right, number 8, The Conjuring. I'm not gonna read the Conjuring stuff, but I was shocked that this was on this list. I assumed that everybody knew The Conjuring was a real house, a real family, had paranormal events at the Conjuring house, and a fact that Ed Lorraine Warren did, in fact, investigate the house. Now, you guys could challenge how haunted the house is by any means. That's up to you. But the fact of the story, the base of the Conjuring story, is a real story. Regardless on how haunted you think the Conjuring house really is. And of course, you know that a movie is going to exaggerate big time. So it's like in a weird way, right? People who do investigations, normal people probably exaggerate it a little bit. They exaggerate it. Then Hollywood takes that little bit of exaggeration. Then the whole movie's exaggerated. But the fact is, the claims is, the place is haunted. I've never been there. I think Exploring Harley says they went there only once. Exploring Harley, when you went there, did you have any paranormal things there? And another fact, the Warrens went to the Conjuring house only once. Technically, Ed Warren got thrown off the property by the husband's owner. But the fact still is they did go there for haunting, but everything got stretched out. We know that. I did not go. Oh, I did not go yet. Oh, I thought you said you went there. You went there. It is. Listen, I'm one of those people who respect Ed and Lorraine Warren, what they've done and how they investigated. I respect them. But I know there's been several stories that they've been to a haunting place technically just once. Even the infill poltergeist, which I didn't know this is coming, guys. The infill poltergeist is having a big a real big documentary on the infield. I can't remember if I seen the trailer on Hulu or Netflix. I think I seen it on Hulu. I could be wrong, but the infield with the real guy who was there from the beginning is part of the documentary, of this new documentary. It comes out October 27th, and I don't know what channel it's going to be on, but I do know there is going to be a cool documentary of the infield horse. The infield horse is having a documentary about the horse. No, but technically, the Ed and Lauren, they were all in there one day too, and they left. So, but I do respect on how Ed does his investigation, how he does his recordings, and all that. And how he brought people into the paranormal field that would not be there today if it wasn't for Ed and Lorraine Warren. However you feel about their investigations, like anybody we talked about in the past, you go into something for the good reasons, and eventually money and power and fame overtakes you like a disease. I can't say exactly if that's happened to them, but the infield, then The Conjuring, the first two movies that they did it on, they were both there at those cases just one time. And they got, like I said, they got thrown out of the Conjuring house. And the infield poltergeist, the main investigator who did that didn't even know Ed and Lorraine was going to show up. They just showed up out of nowhere. He wasn't even told. So, you take that with a grain of salt. All right. That's what else is on this list. Saw. Oh my God. First of all, we know that actually goes on in other countries, but that is the one thing I don't want any 50% to 100% truth on that. That is horrible. that is horrible. Let's see here. Thankfully, the Saw franchise invented mechanical traps are based in reality, but the series creators cited unexpected real-world incidents as influence on the story. Jigsaw motivation came from a co-writer, Let Wannell's own confrontation with mortality. After a health scare made him think about how psychopaths might react if diagnosed with a terminal illness. Another true story inspiration for Saw came with co-writer James Wan. James Wan's a fantastic horror director, producer. I love James Wan. He's actually the one that made the Conjurings, and he actually made he's the guy behind Aquaman and all that. And read about a man who break into people's houses claiming he was under the instruction of another person who would send him jigsaw pieces in the mail. The story went on to inspire Saw character who carries out crimes for Jigsaw. I can see that. So basically, a person used another person a certain way with blackmail or whatever to do stuff for him. Unfortunately, that happens in everyday life. People get forced to do stuff. They got stuff on you. I mean, goddamn, look at our government, right? Our government. You don't think I'm not getting into political here, but you don't think the government go to people and say, sure, you can talk about that. But if you do, there might not be a tomorrow for you or someone in your family. You don't think that stuff happens. That happens. Listen, I hate to say this, it happens with the police force too. Police force, people in the military. I was in the military. My brother's in the military. A lot of people in the military. Unfortunately, in any field, there are people that force other people to do things they don't want to do. That's just a fact. And another sad thing is illnesses. People with illnesses, sometimes can bring the most scary horror stuff to life. I don't want to get into here. A lot of us here in the chat, we have a good friend right now in the Bigfoot community that has, stage 4 cancer, and it does, and it's put things in perspective. It does. Um, I'll tell you guys a little secret. I thank God it's nothing. I had to get something removed here that turned out to be one of the lowest. If you're going to have cancer, this is the kind you want to have. You know what I mean? It's the kind you do want to have. But it kind of just, with everything, your friends, you're hearing about stage 4, and it's just like, I'm not saying make you do things evil. Don't get me wrong. But what I mean is, like, just like, not be afraid anymore. You know what I mean? Not be afraid anymore. For me, I used to have real quick, and we'll go back to this in a second. When I started this channel, Bob can verify this. I always wanted to be a channel that I'll go on anybody's channel, because I really truly believe that we need to bring all channels together, right? I am one of those believers that, because you fight so much with the outside world, you fight so much with the government, the non-believers, people with no open minds, and you hope by going on YouTube, especially in the early days when it mostly was done by blue collar people like ourselves. Now you got actors, musicians, all like jumping on the platform that was designed for people like ourselves to have a voice, right? Have a voice. So we all not fight, but we work hard to get subscribers. We work hard to build. Then you got like the fucking Kardashians could walk one day and say, "Hey, I'm gonna open a YouTube channel. Oh, I got 1 million subscribers." You know what I mean? No earning, no nothing. It's like, you got your fucking TV show, right? Kardashians, you got your fame off your sex video. Get away from it. And I myself got away from going on other people's channels. I did. I believe, like, Eric, don't ever go on that guy's channel. Don't go on that guy's channel. I don't like. Listen, we're all people. All channels even make mistakes. Channels make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. The day you tell somebody you can't do something is the day you're calling yourself a gatekeeper. Get over that yourself. It's bad enough with the outside world that are against us, not having open minds or not willing to listen, just to listen about the idea of a possibility of a real life UFO on another planet or an alien Bigfoot. You can't stop yourself from, this is my we're the whole social media is a community, and I'm gonna go back in some ways, not my old ways, but I am gonna go on other people's channels. It might not be your favorite, it might not be someone else's favorite, but at the end of the day, it's all about joining together, right? Isn't that what we're here for? It seemed like some people, I had a person tell me that they can't be friends with me because I'm going on somebody else's channel. And you sit there and like, really? So your beef is now my beef? It's like high school stuff, right? Junior high, kindergarten stuff. I don't get it. I just want to be friends with everybody. I want everybody to be happy. So guys, don't ever listen to somebody. If you like another channel, like it. You can like multiple channels. It's fine. Don't ever let people pressure you into liking or not liking somebody. If you get anything from me, I hope you at least get that from me. It doesn't, not everybody's going to like the same channel. Listen, my brother's in the chat. I had some people on this community loves when Dr. Wu's on my channel, but they say, I go to Robert Wood's channel. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I love him on yours, but, and you know what? That's fine. If you only want to watch Robert here, he don't mind. If you want to, you know, I can't say if you want to watch me on his. Bob does his shows at night when I'm with the family, so I can't go on there. You know, that's why he told me to go away from Bob. Yeah. Oh yeah, I told him go away from Bob. Listen, even on my channel, when I tell people, if you go to Bob's channel, bring yourself a bucket of popcorn, a couple beers, soda, and just sit back, relax, because you're going for a ride. And it's not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. It is what it is, right? But if you guys take anything from me today, go with your own heart. That's all I'm going to say. Don't get in with the kindergartner fights. That's why I don't even bring up other people's channel's name. I will never do that. I won't do that. I'm not a childish. I'm not going to bring up, even if somebody hates my guts, or even if I, for whatever reason, don't like another channel, I'm never going to bring up a name because I am not a kid. I am not a child. I'm not a baby. That's just the world that I believe in. That's just me. All right, let's go back to this list. Man, we're sure getting off this list, right? Scream. The 1996 Scream. All right. I remember this story. There was inflicted a 4-day murder spree on several Florida college students in 1990. I remember this. Wilmington seemed to have woven several elements of the rolling story into Scream. The murders were preceded by a seemingly uncontinent killing the year prior. The carnage was mostly focused on a group of young people, and Rollins had tendency to pose his victim in anticipation of their discovery, just like Casey Becker and Scream. So I remember that story. I've heard that. That's where Wes Craven got the idea into the movie. So in a lot of ways that is based, but instead of college, of course, in Scream, instead of using a college, they went to high school on this one. And that's a good movie. What? Freaky Friday's gotta leave? Okay, keeping the live running, but later on I tell them first Raymond and block them, laugh out loud, or block them. You know. So Scream is based on a story. Poltergeist. Well, guys, first of all, there's thousands of poltergeist stories. You can put claims on poltergeist for anything, right? I mean, that's the one. Poltergeist is not a stretch to say, you know, you can base this off The Conjuring, the Amityville Horror. I mean, you can base the poltergeist off anything. But for the sake of it, let's see what it says here. Okay, the Herman House of Long Island, New York, became a national sensation in 1958. Long Island, man, I'm telling you what, people, watch out for Long Island, man. That unfortunately, that place is that they're getting slammed with UFOs, Bigfoots, aliens, lights, orbs. I think I need to pick up a lot of you people and go to Long Island because they're exploding with everything over there. It's like there's like a portal there's like a portal somewhere in Long Island and everything's coming out. I'm serious. It seems like New York is the one place that's seeing everything now. There must be a portal there. I'm serious. Actually, I do go to New York here and there. I got family in New York, actually, upstate New York. I go there a lot of times once a year. And I will be back in New York in 2024. And it makes sense, especially for the paranormal, because New York on the East Coast is the oldest part of the United States there are. So percentage-wise, it's not. I know this sounds weird. There's more death that has happened on the East versus West. Doesn't mean the West ain't as haunted as the East, but there's been way more deaths. Unfortunately, bad kind of deaths where, civil wars. I mean, coming to the country for the first time. So there's a lot of death. And it's like also being a rat in the cage, right? When you have more people populated in certain areas, more bad stuff's going to happen. Like the song Rat in the Cage, Smashing Pumpkins. It's going to happen. But man, stay away from Long Island, man. You got to watch out for those portals. Poltergeist ran with a story to tell fictional tale of a suburban family whose house is plagued by spirits. While the film includes the details of moving furniture and bizarre noises, it takes things much further with spectral hands, moving skeletons, and even child swallowing portals coming to play. And there's stories. I can't back up these stories. Can't back these stories up. There's stories to say that the skeletons that came up in the movie were real skeletons. I can't prove that. But there are people who say that the skeletons were real skeletons. And I'm surprised that, because I also heard stories that Poltergeist was also by Steven Spielberg, said that there's been true fact stories of communities where they took away headstones from a graveyard and they built houses on top of it. They also definitely done that. A lot of you guys know this. They definitely done that with Indian land. They disrespected the Native Americans, disrespected their area of their area where they plant, they put their dead and they built stuff on top of it. So there's been a lot of stories of communities where they've removed headstones and they never removed the bodies. So talk about being disturbed. And I thought that's what they were gonna mention here, because I saw something that Spielberg getting directed. There's actually a Mandela effect with Poltergeist, because a lot of people believe that they remember Steven Spielberg directing a Poltergeist. He's the producer on it. His company was behind it. He didn't direct the movie. I think Ted Hopper. I don't know. So there's actually a Mandela effect of Poltergeist. It's right there. So if you guys didn't know that, yeah, there's a Mandela effect that it was always Steven Spielberg who produced Poltergeist, but he no longer produced it. There you go. You got a Mandela effect out of it today. So, all right. Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984. My God. You got to think about that. That is also one thing you don't want to be true, right? Knowing that, in theory, your sleep time is your sleep time, right? I know a lot of people, there's a lot of cases and stories that people get dreams of things that are happen. We know that. I mean, we have all had some dreams of the future. But what I'm talking about here is a dream that can kill you. That's not good. That's not good. And if you haven't seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street, it's when they had baby Johnny Depp in there. He was trying to make it as a if you guys didn't know this, he was trying to make it as a musician, not an actor, Johnny Depp was trying to be a musician. So when a lot of people see Johnny Depp in the band with like the guy from Aerosmith, Joe Perry, Alice Cooper, it's because technically Johnny Depp was a musician first. If you didn't know that, he was a musician first. He was a struggling musician. They offered him a little role in Nightmare on Elm Street to make some money. Then they loved him. They put him in 21 Jump Street, and the rest is history. So Johnny Depp was a musician before he became an actor. So he's the one guy you can say, oh my God, he's using his acting for a music career now. He was actually technically trying to be a musician before he became an actor. Sometimes life has other things for you, right? It is. Let's see here. Much like Scream, A Nightmare on Elm Street is a Wes Craven franchise that originated from a true story. Craven reports reading a news article about a Cambodian refugee who died in the middle of the night after trying not to sleep for days. Apparently, the boy has told his parents that something was waiting to chase and kill him in his sleep. This article and others like it inspire Craven to make a film about a monster who kills people in their dreams. I can see that. Yeah. I mean, I know this story. I've heard this story before. So this one's not new to me. But yeah. God, not safe in your dreams. That truly is scary. Ravenous, 1999. Have I seen this? God damn it, I can't remember. I literally cannot remember if I've seen this or not. Wow. To underrated 90s horror film, Ravenous tells the story of a remote 19th century military outpost terrorized by an insane cannibal. The plot is inspired by numerous real stories of parties of settlers driven to cannibalism by a savage condition of untamed American wilds. Most prominently, the film is based on the notorious story of a donor party who turned to cannibalism after finding themselves trapped in the California mountains, and the account of Alfred Packer prospect who likewise began to eat his fellow party members after becoming lost in the Rockies. Yeah, I heard that story. And there was that other story, guys. Ethan Hawke was in it, where I think there were a soccer team. I don't know if it was a soccer team or a rugby team, and their plane crashed. I can't remember if it was Alaska. I can't remember. I don't remember. And they crashed. A lot of them died from the plane crash, and they started eating each other. I can't remember what that movie was called. Alive. Thank you. Alive. And I can't remember if they were, I know they were a sports team. I don't know if they were soccer, rugby, or what they were, but that movie, they were eating each other. Hello, Eric. Hope you're doing good this morning, buddy. Hey, doing really good. Yeah, love this morning. Been loving it this morning. You know, life throws you a few wrenches, but you know what? You deal with those wrenches, my buddy, my friend, put out again. You just move on. You move on. You know what I mean? You move on. That's the way life goes. Because like I said earlier in the chat, we're not kindergartners. We're not junior high. We're grown men. We're grown men. Grown men and grown women. I've been eating many times. And listen. I know every single one of you says, I would never eat another person. I'm not saying I wouldn't think I would do that either. You'd be surprised what people do when they're hungry. If you're stuck in the frozen, you need to eat. Don't think you can't not be broken. It's been proven. People all have certain limits in life to be broken. And hunger is one of those things that breaks a person. And that's a fact. If you want to believe me or not, you'd be surprised what you would do if you're hungry. The stress. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? I mean, it is. It is. Sorry. All right, we got 2 more left. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which you guys saw the intro of this show. You saw a little trailer of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And when we end the show, I have another ending with the newspaper with a trailer on that one too. So just letting you guys know. I like putting some trailers on there. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based, a lot of it on, I know Ed Gein, I think I'm saying it right, Ed Gein's true story of the man who actually is known to eat people. Yeah, right here, Ed Gein. Also cited the basic killers of Psycho, Norman Bates. Oh yeah, this movie cited the killers of Psycho, Norman Bates, The Silence of the Lamb, Buffalo Bill, one of the cinema's most influential serial killers. Ed Gein inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. The iconic chainsaw wielder killer practice of decorating his home with human body parts and even wearing a mask of human skin is modeled after Ed Gein's own notorious act. Bob and I did a show about Ed Gein on this channel long time ago. You have to go back to the archives maybe 3 years ago, but Bob and I did do a show on Ed Gein 2-3 years ago. I'm not even gonna attempt to find it right now, but we actually did one on Ed Gein, just so you guys know. So all right. Oh god, I think you guys already saw what number 1 was. I was like, what is gonna be? Yeah, you remember that one? Yeah, I don't remember the exact title of that episode, but Bob and I did one like 2-3 years ago on Ed Gein. I think you guys already saw the title, but what is number 1 on this list? And and I'll try to end this real quick because we got our good friend Bigfoot Michigan Rob that just started his show at 10 a.m. We love the guy. We want to give him our support. So let me get through this. The Strangers, 2008. The Strangers. That's not really a hard one to say. You know, the 2008 indie hit The Strangers were inspired by real crimes. The film, while legit on plot, nothing less succeed to representing the primal fear of seamlessly motiveless home invasion. According to director-writer Brenner, the movie was inspired by 3 real home invasion stories. The first is the infamous Helter Skelter murders. We all know about that one, where a cult directed by Charles Manson murdered actress Sharon Tate in her own home. The second is the 1981 Teddy Cabin murders, which saw a mother and 3 children murdered by an unknown killer. The third is Bertino's own childhood memory of being home alone and nearly avoiding a home invasion. So basically, The Strangers, you can dude, that's an easy one that you can base it on anything out there. I mean, that's easy. That is easy. And there's a lot of movies that could have been on this list. Amityville Horror is one of them, right? Based on a true story, regardless of the exaggeration of I forgot the family's name in Amityville Horror. There's Amityville Horror. So there's a lot of movies that were on this list. And I didn't put a poll up because there's so many, and I don't know what's technically people's 4 favorite. The Omen is also considered a true story too. So I will put up a poll on my community bar later. I use the pictures, and if you guys have never been there before, if this is some of you guys' first time on this channel, usually I put up voting stuff on my community bar with pictures, and unfortunately, you can only put 4 options, and it doesn't let you put 5 or 10. Trust me, I would love to put 10. And The Exorcist is based off the true story of the kid in St. Louis. It wasn't a girl, it was actually the boy. So they like I said, this is their list, not my list. And maybe what we'll do is next Thursday, on Paranormal Thursday, we'll do a show by putting our own list together. How about that, guys? We'll do our own list next week. The entity, and if you guys could email me some of this, Omen, The Exorcist, and somebody wrote the entity at email me paranormalhighway13@gmail.com, and then we'll create our own list. We'll have fun with this. We'll create our own list and all that, and we'll have great fun. Now, guys, like I said, our friend Bigfoot Michigan Rob, he has a great channel. If you've never been there before, great community, great people. They're fun. I'll be jumping over after I get done here. So please jump over there. And I want to thank you guys for being here. And remember, just be true to yourself. Unfortunately, social media, anything on YouTube and all that, there's drama. There are. Do the best you can to avoid the dramas. Just have fun. Be yourself. Go to channels. And I always take the high road to where I say, I don't mention names about other channels. I just do my own thing. I'm going to start to go on a lot of other people's channels because I want the community. I want community. I'm even going to go on some channels that supposedly don't like me. I'm going to go on. I'm going to try to go on those channels. Like, hey, let's just be friends. Let's just hold hands and get together because we're weak individually, but together we're strong. We're all on this journey together. We're all searching for the unknown. Every one of us are having our own unknown that we're searching. And we're always going to be searching. It just makes us stronger if we all could be friends. We could all be, back ourselves up. And I'll see you guys all next time on the Gypsy Road channel.
Soon after they moved in, it began. George and Kathy's bedroom. The eyes at the window. The sewing room. So many flies. Get out. Get out. You will believe the Amityville Horror. Rated R. Starts Friday everywhere.